Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Culture Chap. So today I wanted to talk to you about doing musicals that have bad subplots, and I mean bad by racist subplots. So the I talked about Thoroughly Modern Millie in another video, and I got a couple of comments and a few emails saying, "Well, I didn't know how you could change Thoroughly Modern Millie from its racist subplot of these people that were supposed to be Chinese kidnapping white girls to sell into slavery. Human trafficking is not a funny subplot. And I like the movie Thoroughly Modern Millie, but I hate the subplot. I don't think it should be there. But how do you remove all that? Because it was a movie first and then it became a musical. Now, when it became a musical, there were Asian people consulted and so forth. And there is a few of them that think that it came out better. In the musical, one of the Asian henchmen now has a proper name, and he ends up with Miss Dorothy in the end. So we've solved it? No. There are different things. I I did float the idea of doing, because the people still want to do those kind of musicals because the music is so good and the rest of it is very interesting and fun. I wish you could just do that musical with Miss Dorothy and, oh no, I'm forgetting the guy's name. Freddie? Jimmy? Jimmy. Just have them be Asian people. Wouldn't that be interesting? And the subplot is people dressing up as Asian people trying to do human trafficking. But that isn't enough. Human trafficking is still happening and is very triggering for a lot of people. And as it turns out, when people say, "Oh, historically that happened. This is a true subplot," is it? Actually, it was in the opposite. There were people that were being kidnapped from Asia being human trafficked. This is a whole very depressing topic. Um, I would do it as a panto, where you keep all the good stuff, and then you take the the trafficking and you turn it on its ear. Here's my idea: you do it as a panto, which is meant to be, tongue in cheek. We all know what we're doing, wink, wink. And you keep all the good stuff, and you rid yourself of the bad stuff. And maybe the whole kidnapping thing is Canadians, and they're kidnapping, they're kidnapping people, anybody, whether it's girls, men, whoever, to join their hockey teams. I think that'd be great. Now, a lot of you are saying, why are you picking on Canadians? And especially people in the UK are like, what? Why is an American saying that? We love the Canadians. They're our neighbors to the north, and we think they're cute and funny. And to view them as a threat is funny to us. And the fact that they're so obsessed with hockey and they're kidnapping people right, left, and center of any age, of any sex, of any color is a whole different story. That's much more hilarious. And they're shipping them up north to the frozen tundras to be constantly on the ice. This is a much more funny way of going about it than the way they did it. Now I'm going to get a bunch of Canadians like, I don't like that you said that, but it is funny. We love the Canadians. They're so cute and they talk funny. But I love the good parts of Thoroughly Modern Millie. I love the good parts of, I love the music of a lot of other stuff. I think what would be more interesting is to do things like Flower Drum Song, which at the time, because I'm from where I'm from in San Francisco, and there were people in our community that were in Flower Drum Song, the movie, and said, at least I have work. At least they're focusing on Asian stories. But it's a very problematic musical. What if you, now this is happening in other countries, it's not my idea that's original, but in other countries people are saying, I like this thing, but I like this musical, but not the whole thing. I like the music, but I want to do it as if a company is doing it and they're facing these issues, the bad issues in this musical firsthand. So it was suggested that Flower Drum Song be updated, which it was, and I think it was 2013 or 14, and redone in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco Bay Area. And we still went, I see what you're trying to do. It really can't be saved. It just can't. What would be more interesting is if it was a company or a musical about doing the movie Flower Drum Song and the musical, and the Asian actors doing it and having to face the fact that, yes, we're getting work, yes, we're getting visibility, but at what cost? What does that mean? I don't know what cost. I like that these people got work very much. But that would be much more interesting now. And why can't we take that apart? The one that I'm getting the idea from, well, the incident, not the incident, the play that happened, I guess it's a musical. The story that happened was a company in South America who said, we love the Mikado. And we actually really liked the idea that these ridiculous British people were doing something about Japanese culture, and everyone knows that they're just these idiots that are doing this thing about Japanese culture and not getting it correct. But the way they did it was they worked with the licensing company and said, we want the music, we like the music, and we want to take out sections and we want to have it as a company of Asian actors working with the English people doing this. So in the musical itself, it's a mixture of actual Asian actors and actual British people dressing up as Japanese people. And we want to see how that was put together by this company. Very interesting. I thought it really worked. Now, it didn't, apparently, I haven't seen it because I wasn't in South America to see it, but apparently to some people it got too serious. But why can't it be serious? You know, why can't we look at the ridiculousness, still love the music, and still love the performances, and have the actual Asian people go, why are we doing this? Or why are you doing this? Why did you create this? Let's have some discussions. And let's have some discussions on, at the time this was created, and the times until very recently, in the scheme of things, it was very hard to get Asian people on stage. Even now, in the stages in the US, the percentages of Asian people on the stage are not as many as you think. You might think there are quite a few, but when you take away the ones that are like Flower Drum Song or Miss Saigon, you know, or M Butterfly, the ones that are sort of doing this weird I don't want to say the word, this weird fetishy, strange view of Asian people, and you start to present the ones that are struggle stories, like the George Takei one, which I'm forgetting right now, but I'll put it in the link. How many stories are on there that are just, I happen to be Asian, and I'm dealing with this in America? There's not very many. And still, the number of Asian actors, the number of Asian roles that are being taken on by other people of cultures. I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my words. Let me explain it in a story. I was part of a play called The White Snake. Half of the actors in The White Snake, which is a Chinese fable, were white or black or Italian or Mexican. Now, this isn't a repertory company, and I understand that how repertory companies work, we don't have all the necessary people of the correct background to do this massive cast. But as this play went on further to travel, it was criticized everywhere it went because it was part of the original cast going, and they said, well, you're not a repertory company now, you're on tour. Why aren't you recasting this? And very quickly, this very good play, Whitesnake, traveled, and very quickly, it was an all-Asian cast, as it should be. Okay? It's a Chinese fable. It should be an Asian cast. Why not? And to the people that criticized me for saying that Thoroughly Modern Millie was fact, do your research. It was not fact, the subplot. And This will make some people mad. But the people that were criticizing me were people of color, saying this was fact. And they brought up other things. You can't just be for your own tribe and be against other people's tribes. You can't just be like, oh, gay rights, but nobody else. Oh, only black rights, but nobody else. Only Indian people should be in Bollywood things, but nobody else. Or only, we shouldn't mix this up at all, but nobody else. This tribe, this culture, they're not having the same problems as my culture, my tribe, so they don't matter that there's racism against them. That doesn't work. If you want to be part of this dialogue about making things more woke, making things more fair, you have to think of everyone involved, you know, and why people are saying, like, why is this being cast? Why are these Asian roles being cast with white people? Why? Really? You wouldn't do any August Wilson plays, like the poster behind me, with anybody besides black people. Of course, in your head you're like, well, of course, that's ridiculous. The other is just as ridiculous. No more yellowface. And to say we should toss out these musicals because of racist subplots, well, maybe, but shouldn't they be altered? And when you find, like this re-altering a Flower Drum song, years later, that there's just too much to take out, that you're really changing it completely, why not something where you work with a licensing company and say, I want to do this thoughtful thing of, we are a company building and casting this musical of old that's got these problems. And we're going to show how we tackled doing this piece. Maybe the end of this piece, again, you've kept all the music you like, you love the music, you've kept the storyline in minimum, you're just touching on it, mostly it's discussion. You're discussing things like, well, the people at the time that did it, in the 60s, the 50s, whatever, they really needed work. They really wanted to have their faces out there to start the discussion. How do we get to this point now without those things starting, those racist things that started the discussion? That's a much more interesting story. We're trying to do better, and that concept is a really interesting concept. And I was truly surprised that the licensing companies in South America went for it. What if in your country you did the same thing and said, here's what we want to do? What do you think? This is worthy of exploring. And we've kept the good parts, we've kept the weird parts in minimum, and we're looking at the weird parts and saying, why? Why? And that is part of the discussion. Now, I want to get comments saying, like, musicals need to be fun and frothy and this and that. Maybe so. But we've proved to ourselves that musicals can also have deeper meanings. Les Mis has deeper meanings, okay? Hunchback of Notre Dame has deeper meanings. A lot of musicals have deeper meanings. And we've survived that. And we think they're interesting. So why not you? Why not take a chance? Why not look at a musical and go, why do I like it? It's just the music. So there's a lot of writers out there. There's a lot of people who'd like to tackle this subject and really explore it. So why not you? Why not your company? It could be a huge seller for you. Don't we need things that are going to sell well? So, and you advertise it. This isn't the Flower Drum song that you saw. This is the songs and how the story was built. This isn't the whatever it is, all right? You have to be for all tribes. It's just better that way. Think about it. And think about why you have narrow vision, why you're only after your own people and your own tribe, but nobody else's. It's a real problem. Expand your mind. All right. I'm going to get some angry comments. But engagement is good. If we don't discuss these things, there will be no moving forward. And I'm sorry I tripped over my words. Clearly, I'm passionate about this topic, and I'm telling you what I think is a very good idea. All right. We'll talk again. Thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe, and we'll see you later. All right. Bye.